I want to dedicate this to those who never made it. From kindergarten to the 12th, I never graduated. But college was it for some of us, so we joined the service. I seen a kid get murdered in Nam.
When I drove to the Caritas Awards ceremony in May of 2010, I never imagined I'd be driving to Haiti a year and a half later. But when Sister Vincenzina stood on that stage and said that what she wished for most of all for her school was music instruments, and the whole audience laughed, all I could think of was, hey, we've got plenty of old instruments lying around, unused. And so suddenly, here I am, 567 instruments later, on my way to Gonaives and Trousables, the poorest section of Haiti. I arrived in the Dominican Republic because the crime in Haiti is so bad that I didn't feel safe traveling alone in Port-au-Prince, so it was a long drive to Gonaives. You'll see here in the Dominican Republic, they do have garbage systems, they've got good roads, but you'll notice that the housing tends to deteriorate as we draw nearer to Haiti. All along the way, there were very few street signs, practically no speed limit, and everybody just didn't stay on their side of the road. It was sort of a matter of avoiding rough spots. As we drew closer to Haiti, the roads became worse and worse until they were just a series of potholes. I tell you, I don't know which hurt more after 6 hours on these roads, my butt or my head from hitting the ceiling of the truck. So many small towns with small, simple houses, and a lot of things were broken down. But it was a beautiful countryside. Even in the remote villages we passed through, children were standing in clean uniforms, their hair done nicely, waiting for someone to take them to the school, and sometimes as early as 6 o'clock in the morning. This is right outside the school, La Sainte Familia in Trousables. I received a very warm welcome from Sister Vincenzina. Now, if you think about it, the band had only 2 weeks to learn how to play a few tunes to welcome me. Most of these kids have never held an instrument in their hands before. And you'll see now Leonard, who is now the director of the music school, he came to pick me up at the border. Many of the children are standing there empty-handed because they're waiting for the next song. There just weren't enough musical instruments to go around. They're playing with instruments from the very first shipment we sent over from Switzerland. Just 40 instruments, half of which were actually wooden recorder flutes, so they were quite limited. But just imagine the potential we have when they have enough instruments and a place for them to practice. That evening, I heard a truck pull up, and I went down to see a shipment of rice arriving from Hands Together, Father Gerard's organization supported by Caritas. Sister Vincenzina was supervising, of course. I think she works 24 hours, 7 days a week, and she's over 70 years old. Everywhere I heard singing. Now, you can imagine instruments are rare, and to rent them for a special occasion costs the equivalent of a month's pay. So people mostly sing here. Music is an essential part of Haitian culture. Here they are practicing for the church service. They sing a prayer of thanks before and after every meal, and instruments are important to them. I think you need a strong spiritual belief system to get through the kind of hardships these people have faced. There's a church right in the schoolyard, and it's like the center of the community of Trousables. This section of Gonaives, which is sort of like what the Bronx is to New York. Everything revolves around the school and the church activities, and there's always music. Up until now, it's mostly been singing, but now they're proudly adding in music instruments at the service. So instruments are a rare thing, and the first 40 that we sent over from Switzerland were given an entire bedroom at the school for storage. They were very, very well cared for. So the next day, I took a look around the school when they were holding classes. I remember it was really loud because they don't have glass in Haiti. Windows aren't really needed because of the warm temperatures, so it's all open classrooms. And the younger classes don't have many books or even notebooks and pens, so a lot of it is done with recitation. The upper grades have some notebooks, but no textbooks from what I could see.
Bonjour, bonjour. Ça va?
So I was talking to the school principal later, and I asked her what she needed most for the school. And I thought she was going to list off textbooks, but instead she said toys. The little ones don't have any toys. I had noticed that in the schoolyard they had 2 beautiful basketball hoops, but no basketball, so they had to play with an old tennis ball. At least now they have music instruments to play. These instruments are like shiny toys for them. The music opens their heart, it cheers them up, and it can really take them places in a career in the future. The problem is they have no place to practice. Because of the open classrooms, they can't play at the school when classes are in session, so they have to stay after school and just stand out in the courtyard. We sent over 120 music note stands, but they need a place to use them. They need a band room. A large room with good acoustics where 50 kids can play together. And with so many more instruments on their way to Haiti, we need a building with a second story where we can store the instruments, because in the last 2 floods, in 2004 and 2008, the mud on the ground floor was 6 feet high. Everything inside the school walls looks pretty normal, but just outside, you're confronted with the reality of the poorest section in the poorest country in the Western world. What's amazing to me is the teachers. They work for very little pay at the school, and even though it takes all their time to put enough food on the table for their own families, they teach music completely voluntary. There are no funds for a music program. Here in the States, our taxes pay for public schools. Well, in Haiti, they have no funds for the arts. I'd like to change that. These people deserve support for this music program. So here we've driven out to the countryside, where Frederic is about to give beginners classes to the kids who live too far away from the school in town. There are about 5 primary schools under Father Gerard's care, and those kids won't come into town for school until they're older, so Frederic goes out to them. He has amazing patience, and he really cares about these kids. Now, if you can imagine, a chance to learn to play a music instrument is a rare opportunity for them. Frederic reminds me a lot of Dr. Nick Contorno, my high school band teacher, for whom we named the music school in Haiti. Nick was always a cool guy, warm-hearted and friendly, and he would do anything for the kids. Once they do come into town to attend the upper-level classes, they will be at La Sainte Famille, which has grown from 1,300 kids in 2009 to 1,700 kids in 2011. As they gather for the morning prayers and flag raising before beginning school, Paula from Hand in Hand announces that the second container of instruments has finally arrived.
C'est jeudi après-midi, on va aller chercher nos containers 250.
Paula then asks the kids how many of them would like to learn to play an instrument. Look at all the little hands go up. I think we're going to need a few more instruments.
Tania, c'est avec humilité que l'école à cette famille vous offre ce petit souvenir.
Tanya, with much humility, the school of La Sainte Famille presents you with a small token of our thanks.
Il traduit la joie que nous éprouvons en jouant de la musique.
This expresses the joy we experience when playing music.
Maintenant, plus de temps pour la tristesse, pour le stress, pour les choses banales.
Now we have no time for sadness, for stress, or for getting into trouble. should have seen the joy and amazement in the kids' faces when the band and the dancers appeared at their morning flag raising. Music means so much to them, and having a band playing is something very rare. Off in the distance, Father Gerard was watching. He's the organizer behind the scenes, the quiet caretaker of all the schools, a powerful and respected man known throughout the area. And it's at his private home that all the shipped containers arrive, and under his watchful eye they are carefully unloaded and the goods distributed accordingly. The Hans-Jörg Hess Foundation brought much-needed desks for classrooms, and Paula Itten from Hand in Hand sent 200 computers that are only 4 years old, donated by the Swiss government. At the back of the container, safe from possible thieves, were the music instruments. Yay! First instrument! Thank you! In addition to sending instruments, I made a few calls and was able to arrange for vitamins to help the kids recovering from cholera. We only had 2 pickups to transport 57 boxes of instruments to the music workshop out in the country. Now the building looks a bit like a prison, but this is the height of luxury for the 64 privileged kids that were invited to attend the 2-day music training. Classes started before the sun was up at 5:30 with gymnastics and breathing exercises. And the real fun began after breakfast, as each child was allowed to unpack an instrument. Yeah, bravo! Oh, bravo! Yeah! Wow! Whoa, yeah! All right. Okay, show it. Voila! Oh, très bien! Bravo! Bravo! Okay, good, yay! Amidst the chaos, Entrebert, who was in charge of the inventory, was dutifully counting everything, right down to the last recorder flute. Good, good. Okay. After all the fun, the kids split up into 11 groups, each one with a teacher. Some teachers were much older and had just a year or 2 of practice with an instrument. Drums are a traditional instrument, part of everyday life in Haiti. The keyboards proved a bit more challenging, because the electricity suddenly went off a couple hours every day. Frederic had to be in several places at once to teach. You'll notice for the bass drum here, they simply have a stick with a tennis ball on it. The kids were also very interested in the music theory classes, and they were anxious to learn how to read notes. Being the largest room in the complex, this is where the band met. But you can see there's not much room with all the desks in the way. There were just a few music stands set up until now, because we didn't even have much sheet music to offer them. But without a real band room, they just simply tried to make the best of it. I asked some of the 64 kids selected for this special workshop why music is so important to them. Music teaches you to be disciplined. I'd like to thank all those who thought of us and donated an instrument, because at first there weren't enough and we had to fight over them. As a trumpet teacher, I'd like to thank all the people who've donated materials for this project. The children are talented, but without the right materials, they can't get very far. We are hoping that with the music instruments that have been donated, we can actually have a performance. We really love the instruments. We want to take good care of them and help them to last 100 years and be ready for the next generation. There's just something really great about the whole camp. The fact that we get to eat together and we have great showers, and it's just a really nice way to be with other kids. Oh, as far as music goes, I just like how it feels when I play. Music is especially good against stress. When the kids have problems, music can help them, because it can help them forget about their stress and remind them of what's important in life. And music makes you feel happy. It gets you in form really quickly.
You want to ask? Okay.
I like music because it's a language universal.
Oh, very good. Okay. You?
Music makes me feel like I'm in another world.
Okay. And for you?
When I play music, it goes right into my blood.
Okay.
Music is really cool. It helps me learn how to study, and it helps me fight against stress. When I was young, I got into a lot of trouble, and music really helped me get away from all of that. Music has actually helped to give me a lot of strength and courage in my life. Music is really interesting. I really like it. I like my flute. And I like learning from the teacher. I really love music because it brings me joy. When I am playing music, I don't think about other things. I'm just in the world of music. And all the teachers got together to play a closing song.
Madame nan pou pote aucun grand remerciement ça ba yo pou.
I want you to share these thanks to all of people who give us instruments.
Nous pas gen mot pour nous dire merci, seulement c'est un chant nous gain pour nous capable remercier tout staff qui a aidé Madame Tania pour instrument.
We miss word, but we're gonna use a song to thank you.
Thanks to the administrative and executive committees of the Nick Contorno School of Music in Gonaives for their tireless endeavors to help the next generation in Haiti to a brighter, more musical future. And thank you again to everyone who has helped support this project.